Iran's transformation from regional powerhouse to precarious player might be the most dramatic reversal in modern Middle Eastern history. A country that once commanded a network of militant groups across multiple countries now finds itself weaker than it's been since the 1980s.
That's such a stark contrast from where they were just a few years ago. What do you think triggered this dramatic shift?
Well, it's fascinating because it really comes down to two pivotal events. The first actually increased Iran's power, the 2003 US invasion of Iraq. When America removed Saddam Hussein, they inadvertently handed Iran unprecedented regional influence.
So that was like giving them exactly what they wanted, right? But then something changed dramatically.
Exactly. The Hamas attack on Israel in October 2023. What looked like a tactical victory turned into a strategic catastrophe for Iran. It triggered this domino effect: the fall of Assad's regime in Syria, a weakening of Hezbollah, and the decimation of Hamas.
You know what I find really interesting? How much of Iran's current strategy actually traces back to the Shah's era in the 1960s?
Oh, that's exactly right. The Shah was actually the first to empower Shia communities in Lebanon as a counterweight to pan-Arabism. Then after the 1979 revolution, the Islamic Republic basically picked up where he left off, turning those same communities into the foundation for Hezbollah.
And then we see this pattern repeat with the Houthis in Yemen after 2015, right?
Right. And what's really crucial here is how the Iran-Iraq war of the 1980s shaped everything that followed. Despite losing around 500,000 people, Iran actually emerged stronger internally. Export across the region.
The human cost of that war is just staggering to think about.
And you know what's particularly interesting? The role of Qasem Soleimani in all this. Before his assassination by that American drone in 2020, he was the mastermind who held together Iran's entire network of regional militias. His death might have been the beginning of the end for Iran's regional power.
So, what options does Iran have now in 2025? It seems like they're really backed into a corner.
Well, they're facing this massive decision point: either go all in on developing nuclear weapons and risk a US-Israeli military strike, or try to negotiate some new arrangement with a potentially Trump-led America. Neither option looks particularly appealing.
That really puts them in a difficult position, especially given how Israel has demonstrated its military superiority in those recent missile exchanges.
And here's the real contradiction at the heart of everything. The regime is pursuing these aggressive regional policies that actually harm Iran's national interests, but they do it because it helps maintain their grip on power at home. They're essentially sacrificing the country's well-being for regime survival.
It's fascinating how their external policies and internal control are so intertwined.
Looking ahead, I think we're watching a pivotal moment unfold. Iran has to either fundamentally reimagine its role in the region or risk further isolation and potential conflict. The days of using military proxies to project power might be coming to an end.
Let's hope whatever happens leads to something better for the Iranian people themselves. They've been caught in the middle of all this for far too long.
That's really the tragedy in all of this, how the aspirations and well-being of ordinary Iranians have been subordinated to these larger geopolitical games. The coming months will show us whether their leaders are finally ready to prioritize national interests over regime survival.